Hi, and welcome to the Nightmare Vault. Today, we have a few allegedly true stories for you. I'm honestly not sure how true the second story is, so let me know what you think in the comments. Let's get on with today's video. It was a late Saturday afternoon when my friends and I decided to explore the old, abandoned hospital on the outskirts of town. We'd heard countless stories about it being haunted, but we were skeptical and thought it would be a fun adventure. Little did we know, we were about to experience something far more terrifying than any ghost story. The building loomed over us, its broken windows and overgrown ivy giving it a sinister appearance. We pushed open the heavy rusted door and stepped inside, the sound of our footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Dust motes danced in the beams of our flashlights as we made our way deeper into the building. The air inside was musty and stale. Each room we entered seemed more unsettling than the last. Old hospital beds were overturned, and medical equipment lay scattered on the floor. As we ventured further, the temperature seemed to drop, and an uneasy feeling settled over us. We were in the process of exploring a particularly dark corridor when we first saw it. A masked figure standing at the far end, partially hidden in the shadows. The mask was white and expressionless, and the figure stood perfectly still, just staring at us. At first, we thought it was a prank, maybe another group of explorers messing with us. But as we approached, the figure didn't move. It just continued to stare, its silence unnerving. We called out, but there was no response. Suddenly, the figure took a step towards us, then another. Panic set in, and we turned and ran. The sound of footsteps echoed behind us, growing faster and louder. The masked figure was chasing us. We darted through the labyrinth of corridors, our flashlights swinging wildly, casting erratic shadows on the walls. Every time we glanced back, the figure was closer, its silent pursuit relentless. We could hear our own ragged breathing, the pounding of our hearts, and the never-ending footsteps behind us. Desperation drove us forward as we tried to find an exit. We burst into a large room filled with abandoned medical equipment. The exits were unclear, and we scattered, hoping to find a way out. The masked figure followed, its eerie silence amplifying our fear. I found myself separated from my friends, trapped in a small room with no windows and only one door. The footsteps grew louder as the figure approached. I frantically searched for something, anything, to defend myself. There was nothing. The door creaked open, and the masked figure stood in the doorway, blocking my escape. Just as the figure stepped towards me, a loud crash echoed from somewhere in the building, followed by my friends' voices calling my name. The figure hesitated, then turned and disappeared into the darkness. I bolted from the room, heart pounding, and reunited with my friends. Together, we found our way out and fled the building, not stopping until we were safely outside. We never returned to that abandoned hospital, and we never found out who or what the masked figure was. Some mysteries are better left unsolved. If you ever think about exploring an abandoned building, think again. Sometimes it's not the ghosts you should be afraid of, but the living. Have you ever wondered what happens when you ignore the warnings and face the unknown? Or why some places are surrounded by dark legends? Today, I'm going to share a true camping trip story that happened only a few years ago. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. It had been a long, tiring week at school, so my friends and I thought camping would be the perfect way to relax. It was a Friday, and we'd all just finished school. We thought camping at Devil's Canyon would be the ultimate thrill. We'd heard stories about people going missing or having strange experiences there, but we didn't believe them. Was this just another urban legend, or was there something more sinister at play? We took my dad's car and arrived in the late afternoon. The canyon looked normal, filled with rocks and trees. As we set up camp near some trees, my friend Mike and I pitched the tent while my girlfriend Jade searched for firewood. We'd done it 1,000 times. It seemed like just another camping trip. But were we ready for what was coming? Not even close. As the sun set, the temperature dropped rapidly. The darkness wasn't just dark, it felt heavy and thick. We quickly built a fire and sat around it, trying to stay warm. The oppressive darkness seemed to close in on us, suffocating and cold. Mike was the first to sense something off, constantly glancing over my shoulder. He claimed to see movement between the trees, but whenever I turned, there was nothing. Unease began to creep in. We laughed it off, thinking it was nothing. Then Jade saw something too. Shadows flitted at the edge of our vision, always just beyond sight. We tried to ignore it, but the sense of being watched was growing stronger. We cooked hot dogs and marshmallows, trying to keep things normal. But every so often, I'd catch Mike and Jade glancing at the tree line. Was it paranoia? Or was something really there? I decided not to ask, hoping silence would dispel our fears. But then, the whispers began. The whispers started softly, like the wind rustling through leaves. But they grew louder, more distinct. It sounded like countless voices murmuring just beyond understanding. The unease turned into fear. Panic began to build. The whispers were getting louder and closer, encircling us. We huddled together, clinging to the flickering light of the campfire. Mike grabbed a flashlight and shone it towards the tree line. The beam of light revealed brief glimpses of shadows darting between the trees. Just as we thought we saw something, the flashlight flickered and died. Mike shook it frantically, but it went out completely. He grabbed another one, but it too flickered and died. The darkness seemed to swallow our light. The whispers grew louder, now a deafening chorus surrounding us. It felt like a circle of voices closing in. My heart pounded in my chest, matching the terror in my friend's eyes. Suddenly, Jade screamed. She was yanked into the darkness. I tried to follow, but the air felt thick and heavy, like moving through a dark, suffocating fog. I struggled to push forward, but it was useless. Mike's hand grabbed my arm, pulling me back to the faint light of the campfire. The whispers abruptly stopped, leaving an eerie silence. The campfire flared back to life, casting a dim, haunting glow. We called out for Jade, but there was no answer. Desperation filled our voices as we searched, but deep down, we knew the truth. The voices had taken her. When morning came, we searched but found nothing. No sign of her at all. We told the authorities, and they looked too. They said she probably fell into a ravine, but we knew the truth. The voices, whatever they were, had taken her. If you're thinking about camping at Devil's Canyon, remember Jade's story. Some places are just too dangerous. Thanks for listening. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing for more.